We became friends first, then we started dating, and then of course we fell in love. And now I'm officially getting married. So you know how I said my life changed from working at the bowling alley? So this is the story about that. I think I've told it 100 times, so all y'all are gonna hear it now. So this is what happened. I was working at Strike City. I was 22 years old, you know, you're a small town girl. In Charlotte on Thursdays, they had this Alive After 5. So it's kind of like everybody that works in downtown Charlotte comes out, and it's basically a big party. That's what it is. Well, I happened to be working that night, and a talent scout comes up to me, and she said, I guess she had been watching me wait on my tables, and she goes, have you ever thought about doing a reality television show? And I'm like, no. And then she was like, you know, I think you should try out. We're doing these auditions for Big Brother. And I'm like, what's Big Brother? Never heard of it.
What?
Yeah, so she goes, meet me down at this, there was a location, meet me here, and let's do an on-camera interview. I didn't show up for it. I told my managers at Strike City that I went, and I didn't go. I was mainly because I was working 3 jobs at the time. I was so exhausted that I was home sleeping and got me an extra hour of sleep. So then I get a call back from her a couple days later, and she's like, you know, I haven't found anybody. Would you please meet me at a location? And I met her down there. I showed up in a hoodie, jeans, and flip-flops, I believe, or tennis shoes. I think it was flip-flops I was in. And I remember going up there, and everybody is dressed like they're going to the club or something.
Would you look at that girl? She is toe up.
Oh my gosh, I look terrible. So then I go and I sit down. They have me all mic'd up. Meanwhile, my mom had my brother go with me and like wait outside in case like my mom's like, if somebody's in that hotel room and tries to get you, you run.
Run, Forrest, run!
And I'm like, oh my God, Mom. I mean, if I'm in the hotel room, they already got me. But anyway, so I sit down and the lady starts asking me questions, and I was so nervous because I had never been in front of a camera before. And I'm like, what do I do? And she just told me, she goes, ignore the camera. Pretend it's not even here. Me and you are sitting down, we're girlfriends, and we're having a conversation. Just talk like you normally would with your friends. And I was like, I got this. I can do this. So then she probably couldn't get me to shut up after.
All right, zip it.
Some of the stuff I look back, I'm like, why did I say that? And so anyways, after the interview, I'm like, okay, yeah, they're not picking me. I totally lost, but this was kind of a cool experience to get to go and talk to somebody and feel cool for a couple minutes. And I left, and I didn't think twice about it. I just went back to work and, you know, started working, and I didn't really think anything was gonna happen from it.
The feeling that's for you.
So then I get a call saying, hey, we want to do more interviews with you. We want to fly you out to LA. And I'm like, LA? Ew. And that's what I was thinking at the time, because I was like, it's a huge city. I have no desire to go to LA. I have to fly by myself. I don't know how to check in at the kiosk. I don't know how to do any of that stuff. So that's going through my head. And how am I gonna get in a shuttle? What am I gonna do? And then I start panicking, honestly. I'm like, oh, I don't know what's going on. So then my mom, I tell her, I go, they wanna fly me out to LA. And she's like, I don't know if that's a good idea. And she's like, I think, what if this isn't real? What if it's all set up? I'm like, Mom, they're paying for my plane ticket. I think it's legit. And my mom is just like, oh no. I don't think this is a good idea. I don't think you should do this.
I have a bad feeling about this mission.
And I go, well, what else am I doing? I'm just working all the time. Why not just try and see what happens? So my mom's like, okay, honey, but you be careful. So I get to the airport and I'm waiting in line. Because the last time I had ever been to the airport was back in the day when you hand the lady at the counter your ticket and she processes it from there. Well, I'm backing up the line.
You see this line, we're all flying today.
And this guy goes, you can, you know, are you waiting? And I go, oh no, yeah, I'm waiting on her. You can go around me. So then all these people just start going around me to the kiosk. And I'm like, wait, what's going on? And then I start watching people, and then I realize, oh my gosh, that's how long it had been since I had flown. And so I'm thinking, okay, I feel like the biggest idiot right now. So then I just go up to the kiosk and it's like start. So I hit start, type in your name, that whole thing. So I get that done. And then I'm like, holy crap. Now I'm by myself. I'm sitting at my gate. I'm like, what am I gonna do when I get to LA? And at the time, like I said, I was a waitress. I had no money. And I think maybe I had like $200 to my name when I left to go to LA. And I'm like, what if something happens? How am I gonna get back? I'm not close to home. So all these emotions and all this stuff is running through my head because I'm freaking out. Because, I mean, I was young. Okay, so now I get to LA, I land, I'm walking off, and I look to the right of me there was like McDonald's, the food court. I look over, and I see Daisy from Rock of Love.
This is Daisy De La Hoya from VH1's Rock of Love 2.
Oh my gosh, she's famous. I watch Rock of Love every Sunday. And I remember just like thinking like that was the coolest thing ever. And then I got yelled at by somebody behind me because they told me I was walking too slow. But I was like trying to call my mom because I was freaking out because I was like, how do I get in a shuttle? I don't know how to take the shuttle to the hotel. So then all that's running through my head. And I remember I stepped out, I got my bag from baggage claim. I step out and all these horns, people are like yelling at each other.
Hey! I'm walking here! I'm walking here!
All this stuff is going on, and I instantly, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have a panic attack. Like this is too much, way too much. But I find my shuttle, and then first thing I do when I walk in, I call my mom. I'm like, okay, I made it to the hotel, I'm good.
I did it. He made it.
So I'm staying at this hotel for these auditions, and I really am, I'm nervous. I didn't even leave my room. I stayed in my room probably, I think it felt like a week, and I didn't even leave. And I brought snacks with me in my book bag, and I didn't even eat anything but my snacks that I brought because I was so scared. And then I would just sit in my room and just wait on them to call me to go do my auditions. So whenever I left, I think it kind of actually helped because when I did my auditions, I was so happy to see people and actually talk.
And then I dumped it over the side on all the people in the audience. Then this was horrible. All the people started getting sick.
Honestly, it was so terrifying. Believe me, I wanted to talk a lot because I was ready to talk because like I said, I had been sitting in my room for more than 3 days, just sitting there. And it felt like an interrogation. It's like this bright light on you.
Wake up! How did you find the piece of resistance? The piece of what?
And then there's probably 20 people in the room and nobody's making any expression. You're telling stories and you're like, okay, that was supposed to be funny. You were supposed to laugh and nobody laughs. They just look at you. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like such a loser. But the good thing for me is when I get nervous, I talk faster and I talk more. Normally people are the opposite and they don't talk, they get scared. But me, I just keep rambling and go faster and faster and then I don't shut up. And so I think that helped me. And like I said, it helped that I sat in my room and didn't talk to anybody. So I fly back to Charlotte, don't think anything of it. I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna get on this reality show. There's no way I made it. I probably embarrassed myself enough and they're not gonna pick me. So I'm just doing my average, you know, working every day, waitressing. And then I'm at Strike City and people start coming in and I'm like, wait, what's going on? And then next thing I know, I get surprised with the key. You're gonna be on Big Brother. You have an hour to pack. And then they rush me home. I seriously had an hour to pack. I'm throwing everything in the suitcase. I call my mom. I'm like, they let me call my mom to tell her because then of course they take your phone, you're done. And you know, then they capture you. So, you know, I call my mom. I'm like, you gotta get home. I got an hour to pack. I'll go, you gotta call everybody. So then my mom calls my brother and my sister and they all come. I'm throwing stuff and packing. And then next thing I know, I tell my parents or my family bye on June 25th and I did not see them till September 15th. Little did I know that my life was gonna change in Big, big ways.